I'm going to do two Ben Nicholson prints. We'll start with the first one. You'll notice that these prints have got very simple frames. The thing about these frames is, though they look to our eye these days boring, cheap frames, when this was put together in roughly 1960, these frames were extremely expensive frames because they're sort of extruded aluminium, and it was a trendy frame, and there weren't a lot of art galleries who were using it, and it's an easy sort of frame to spoil. In fact, we're quite pleased that these frames have only got one or two knocks. Often these things are crumpled and scratched. They're a gold effect frame. They're not gold, they're gold effect on aluminium, and the aluminium has a sort of lacquer on it to make it look golden. But because the frame was done at the same time as the picture was made, you've got the situation where the picture was new at the time, the frame was new at the time, it's contemporary. You'd call it period if it was furniture. It's a period frame, and it actually helps the item. The one drawback of this frame is that the mount, this is the mount, is it obscures the printed information underneath, which we'll talk about in a minute. So the actual print, which is called a collotype, it's a type of printing. The print is this and this. The plate is the whole thing. There is a printed border, and you can see that the border that is printed is not square or not rectangular, it's off. Part of the desired effect. So we've got Ben Nicholson. His work is hugely expensive, the original stuff. A canvas by Ben Nicholson can be £400,000 if you look at the London sale rooms. A limited edition print can be a huge amount of money. A small piece of Nicholson can be a huge amount of money. This is a print, so it's after Ben Nicholson. It is a modern sort of print. It's not a particularly loving type of print, but I would still call it an artisan print, rather than a giclée, a modern print, which is inkjet print, which is an inkjet print made by a computer. So you've got this, I suppose it's a lithograph of sorts. You've got this print. Underneath here, you've got the information, and this was published by Pallant House, which is a sort of gallery, museum, shop situation in England somewhere. I can't remember where it is, south of England. And it says under here, it says Pallant House Galleries, copyright, and there is a impressed Pallant House motif as well. On the other side, there is Ben Nicholson, 1960. This particular one, the text reads Valle, Verzasca, Ticino, which is something to do with, which is a valley in Switzerland. So Nicholson's work goes through various things, from flat work to 3D lumpy relief work, and here he's done a pen and ink drawing of a church in Switzerland. It reminds me of the Matisse ladies in its intensity. It's not a Matisse at all, but nothing to do with Matisse, but it reminds me of the colour of the paper and the sort of overall intensity. But this is novel, this is a rare, this printed, coloured, grey margin. So this one, we bought two. People selling it didn't know what it was, they took it out of the frame. So this one has had the back cut up. So this one has not an intact back, it doesn't matter. And I have had it out to check that it's got the Ben Nicholson text and the Pallant House text, which isn't particularly attractive, which is why it's covered up. But if I was having it framed now, I would want to have it visible, and if I'm selling it, no one's going to want to buy it, particularly unless it's got this stuff at the bottom, which makes it a legitimate, proper, authenticated copy. Okay, that's number one. Number two. This one is the one I bought, the pair I suppose. This is the other one. This one hasn't had the back open, so this is totally intact. And this is as it would have been when it was framed in perhaps the 60s or 70s. It wasn't necessarily framed exactly when it was printed, but it's not a modern attempt to try and look like an old contemporary frame. It is a contemporary frame, sort of a contemporary frame. The mount's coloured slightly, and the overall effect is quite yellowy and beigey, but because of this grey amount. There's enough going on to mark this up as a really good item. It's Ben Nicholson, not a lot of his stuff around. When you find it, it is fought over and expensive. It's quite a nice big item. This one is a church door. It's not actually very well drawn, to be honest. The perspective is troubled. The definition is simplistic and naive. If you were criticising it, you'd say the lines shouldn't go through the capitals. You'd say plinth overruns the ground level. It's warped. But of course, with Ben Nicholson, it probably was the aim. It's sketch-like, but it is attractive nevertheless. And the value of these Nicholson things are going to go crazy, in my opinion, because there's only so much of it around. He is not particularly well known outside the sort of artist market sphere, but I think for the future to have one of these or a few of these is a great thing. We're trying to build a stock up on Ben Nicholson. We're actually trying to build a stock up on even Ben Nicholson books, which are interesting as well. Okay, so we've done 2 collotypes, 2 prints of Switzerland scenes by Ben Nicholson, an English artist, and they are contained within the original simple aluminium frames. Okay, thank you.